Welcome to another episode of Minute Till 6. As you see, we going live on this thing today. I'm your host, Mark Haynes, MH the Champ on Instagram and Twitter. My co-host.
Chris Perry, Chris.Perry SR, Instagram and Twitter.
And you can see my guy right here, Mr. Viola himself.
Yes, sir.
Al Harrington, 16 years in the league? 16-year NBA vet, Al Harrington, man. Appreciate you coming on with us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me, fellas.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Sure, man. We've been, like I said, we've been trying to get you around here for a minute now.
Yeah, we
Shout out
everywhere.
to Brian Hooks and Japal White, man. We've been talking about it for a while now, but glad to finally get you in the building, man.
I'm happy to be here, bro.
Yeah, bumped into you at a Baron Davis game. That's why I finally connected with you.
Right.
We thought we seen you in the street. We seen a purple Jeep rolling around. We chased it down. It wasn't you though.
All upset. You got
it was like, that ain't it.
Nah, we walked out today and saw that one. I was like, that wasn't
totally
it. That wasn't it, bro. That's
totally
supposed to be in there.
But Al, man, we like to start off in the beginning and stuff. You came out. You had a 16-year career. You came out of high school. 25th pick.
Yeah.
What do you remember about draft day and coming out of high school, and kind of tell us a little bit about that process?
Well, draft day, I remember just it was crazy hectic, right? Trying to get ready for the draft party. I had a draft party at this soul food restaurant in South Lawrence, New Jersey called Niecy's.
Oh wow!
So she let us rent it out or whatever for the party or whatever, and I would run around crazy. And I remember trying to find an outfit, so I went downtown Newark, New Jersey, found some like white slacks, and I bought a Carcanine sweater vest.
Wow!
Oh, Carcanine, man!
So that was my drip. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I had a T-shirt on under the sweater vest, and it was brown, and it was weak as hell. But I thought I was fly that day.
Right. All the fashion back then, right?
Gold chain on. And my charm on my chain.
All the way to your stomach.
It was like a man that moved, like the arms and legs. It was terrible.
Couldn't tell you nothing at that time, though.
Right, I was winning. But I remember that night, man, like, getting there, having all my family there, whatever, having a good time. I was told by the Orlando Magic GM, John Gabriel, that they was going to draft me. You know what I'm saying? Like 2 days prior. And so I'm just, knowing I'm about to get drafted by the Magic. So I ain't tripping. I know I ain't going to be top 10, but I knew, right after top 10, I was going to get picked.
Right.
And literally after they had told me that, you know what I'm saying? Well, actually, it was more than 2 days, but when they told me that, I had stopped working out for teams just because I thought I had my landing spot. I'm going to go play behind Penny. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And Orlando made their picks, and they ain't picked me. So now I'm sitting there at the party like, oh my God.
Sick.
Because I ain't worked for nobody else except for the Hawks that had the 20th pick. And I remember I had food poisoning that day.
Ooh.
And I felt like the organization thought I was faking. Like,
Yeah.
Like it was giving me such a hard time that I was sick. I'm like, bro, like why wouldn't I want to work out? Like I'm trying to get drafted. But they were like really like mean towards me that day or whatever. So I was like, okay, I know I'm not getting picked by them. So I remember the workout. And I didn't work out for no other team. So I'm literally sitting there stressed out thinking I'm not going to get drafted. And, I remember I walked out of the main room and my little sister came and she was like rubbing my shoulders. And I can't remember how old she was at the time, but maybe like 8 years old or something. And she's like, it's going to be okay, Al. It's going to be okay. And she's like rubbing my shoulders. And the next thing you know, I had everybody screaming in the room. And
so you didn't even hear your name get called.
I didn't hear my name, bro. I was like out in the foyer part with my little sister rubbing my shoulders, and everybody, you got drafted. And I run out, and it was the Pacers. And immediately, like, I was happy, but I wasn't happy because I was a Knicks fan. So it was like a bittersweet moment. I'm like, I gotta go play with Reggie Miller, punk ass. But obviously, I was happy to be off that board.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Like, literally, I'm literally sitting back there thinking, like, should I try? Maybe I could go back to college now.
Right.
All kind of options. I'm like, I'm not gonna get drafted. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? But I remember that's what happened. I got drafted. My agent calls my cell phone, put me on the phone with Larry Bird and Donnie Walsh. And he was just saying, hey, we excited, to draft you. We think you have a lot of potential. If you work hard, you'll, find a way to, get some minutes on this team. Maybe not this year, but next year, blah, 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 blah. And that was my draft night story, bro.
Wow.
Damn.
Wow. So, and that's also in the time where it wasn't no social media.
Nah.
There was no YouTube. So, like, without working out for teams, it's like
It's bad.
they really didn't see you, really.
Yeah, well, I guess they did see me, right? Because,
right.
you know, obviously that was the era when, like, all the top, you know, 5, you know, any guy that was in top 5 in the class, you know, had potential to go out, right, during that time. So, you know, scouts was definitely always at my games.
All right.
And then obviously, you know, like in the summer circuit, you know, they're everywhere, All-American camp and all that type of stuff. So I felt like teams saw me, but not understanding the business of basketball at that time, you don't know what teams are there. You don't know if it's all the teams, you don't know if it's one person giving out one report, whatever. But, you know, the one thing I did know was, like, you know, from the standpoint of, like, being talented and all that kind of stuff, you know, I checked all the boxes. So I knew that, you know, obviously good things was being said about me, but at the same time, you know, like, you know, just a little bit more background with my story. Like, I didn't start playing basketball until I was a freshman in high school.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So I didn't really fully understand the business of basketball. I just knew, I was like, if I'm the one playing in the class, I'm going pro.
Right. That's it. Yeah.
I'm going. Everybody else going. And they all get picked in the top 10 picks. So I'm like, I gotta go.
Yeah.
And I did that. You know what I'm saying? I worked myself to be the #1 pick. So, yeah, it was just, you know, obviously it was a bizarre moment, you know what I'm saying, that whole process, but, you know, you get through, you only go through it once, you know what I'm saying? I got 2 little boys now, hopefully I get the chance to go through it with them now that I know what I know. But, yeah, you're right, though, without having, like, social media and stuff like that, I'm sure, like, back then, just getting true exposure was probably a lot difficult.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, but the borderline worked out for you, even though you went to the Pacers and played with, you know, a nemesis of the Knicks. It worked out because you end up in the finals a couple years.
Yeah, not only that, man, they taught me how to be a pro, man. I think that one of the things that people don't realize and you underestimate is, like, when you go into a team where you know, everybody's young, there's no leadership. There's nobody to teach you how to be a pro, how to be on time, how to be early, leave late, what to eat, what not to eat.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? What to do with your money. You know what I'm saying? How to handle, you know, adversity from family members and all that kind of stuff. So, you know, I always say, like, me being able to play with all those vets, you know, during my career is the reason why I was able to play for so long. It was literally because of them, because they taught me everything. I was 18. What do I know?
Right.
So you know nothing. You know what I'm saying? So I always say, like, you know, God was looking out for me, drafting me, putting me on a team with vets like that, because they definitely laid the foundation for me to be able to play for 16 years for sure.
Right. I was just about to ask you, think that was the staple for you being able to have such a long, sustaining career?
No, they did. I mean, pretty much my career, my off the court tactics, and some of my on court was all about stuff that I saw them doing. You know what I'm saying? The Reggie Millers, the Chris Mullins, Sam Perkins, Derek McKee, just how professional they was. And, you know, obviously when I came in, they were already in their 30s. But, you know, they were still, you know, at their peak. You know what I mean? But just to see, like, the focus and how seriously they took their job.
Right.
And then even for me, like, the mindset, like, because even me seeing that, I still felt like I was better than them, right?
Right.
So that was always something that, you know, always fueled me with, like, for me in my mind, it was always a contract year every summer. And it was just, for me, like, just knowing, like, there's a young Al Harrington coming behind me, looking at me playing like garbage, bro. I'm definitely better than him. And he want my job. So if I don't stay on top of it, you know what I'm saying, I could lose my spot. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And you did nothing but really you grew, you know, from start to finish for the most part, and grew into your opportunities and stuff. But that finals series against the Lakers, man, that was a I don't know what word I would use, but it was a good series to watch. But y'all had to go up against Shaq and Kobe.
Right.
Shaq just went crazy.
Yeah, man. Shaq was, I mean, obviously, you know, he was at the best. I mean, he was the best player in the game at that point. He was a monster, bro. It was just like, I remember us going over game plans, and it was just like, whenever he gathers, foul. But sometimes that don't even work just because he's so quick. He gathered, now he in the rim. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, one thing, you got a slow guy, you can wrap him up like Shaq was. You couldn't wrap him up. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, he obviously dominated that series. You know, Kobe did too. You know what I'm saying? God bless the dead. He rolled his ankle that series.
Right.
We thought he was going to be out. We felt like he was a big part. It was like, okay, we can beat Shaq by himself. But this when Kobe came back the next game. Like, he didn't miss a game, and he dominated the game on one ankle. You know, one leg or whatever.
Yeah.
And damn, you know, we really thought we had a shot, you know, with Jalen's kind of stepping under him. And just ain't had no quit in him. You know what I'm saying? He had no quit in him.
High fiving Jalen later, like, hey, listen, good job.
You know how to answer it with the media, but
Right.
we don't.
I think Jalen. I've seen Jalen actually admit it on TV now.
Yeah.
He stepped under him on purpose. You know what I'm saying? Like anything to win. You know, and that's where the game has changed a lot, right? Because I mean, back then, them dudes was cutthroat. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, very much so.
Whatever it takes to win. You know what I'm saying?
Get the
Nothing.
dub.
Yeah, right. Whatever it takes. So now it's just, you know, obviously there's a lot of, you know, peace and love and Afro grease.
Yeah.
Too
You know
much.
what I'm saying, within the league. But yeah, we had a shot. You know what I'm saying? But it wasn't our time.
Yeah, man. Back then, I think it was a lot more organic. The camaraderie and the teams that were built, it was like these pieces came together and they built something great. Whereas now it's like you're great, you're great, you're great.
Let's get together.
Let's all come together and see what we can do. So it's like,
and then even back then, it was all about just a combo. You know what I'm saying? Two guys.
Yeah.
Now
1, 2,
the league is
3,
into now
4.
3 and 4.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
like makes it kind of corny. I get it. You know what I'm saying? And obviously the game and just in life trends happening. You know what I'm saying? So that's where we are with it. But I hope that it gets back to that 2 thing, because I think that's when it's more dynamic. You know what I'm saying? Where you got just 2 guys, mano y mano. You know what I'm saying? But when you got 3 and 4, it's just hard when you got so many teams that have each team have 4 really, really good players. You know what I'm saying? To be able to balance the league out. But this year is probably the most balanced it's ever been.
yeah, I'm about to say, it's looking good again. We're going back to the 1-2 punches. It's kind of spreading out. The Heat kind of scare me. They look like they're trying to get towards another 3 thing. But
even still, they're still like.
You said the Heat?
Yeah, it's still
who's
the
the
2.
3?
It's just Jimmy.
Who's the 2?
It's just Jimmy.
Bam's on his way.
Bam's not there yet.
I forgot.
Not
Bam
yet.
on his way.
Bam's on his way, and they have the money to get a 3rd, is what I'm saying.
Oh,
Coming
yeah.
up, so.
But Kawhi, he kind of saved the league with
Yeah.
not siding with the Lakers. He went to the Lakers and be like, man, it ain't no competing this year.
He wasn't with it. I like Kawhi. Kawhi's kind of cut from the he is cut from the old school. You see,
Right, straight back.
Yeah, he don't work out with dudes in the summer. You know what I'm saying? He keeps that competitive edge where, like, you know, you can't touch him. You don't know nothing about his game. You just gonna have to see it in real life, in action. You know what I'm saying? And it's good to see. You know, you still got some old school guys like that.
Right. And then you always been a business minded individual, even like during your career, like you even came out with the shoes, was the Proteges,
yeah.
And what was your mindset? Because you always kind of seemed like a pioneer of, you know, with business, and you wanted to, you know, you could have easily tried to do something with Nike or, you know, mainstream. Why did you decide Pro?
Well, I have to give a lot of credit to Stephon Marbury, because he did it first. You know what I'm saying? And what he did, I saw, you know, it worked, but you know, had a little bit of bad luck. You know, Stephen Barry brand that he did it with ended up, you know, selling out, and whatever company bought him just decided to just dead the Starberries and dead the whole company as a whole, which was really weird just seeing that.
Yeah.
But you know, when I saw the impact that he had on the community, you know what I'm saying, I was like, that's what I wanted to be about. You know, and a lot of the decisions that I make business wise, a lot of time usually comes into effect of like how it's gonna affect others. You know what I mean? And you know, I just thought about, like, when I was growing up, like, I was that kid that couldn't afford Jordans, like, never. You know what I mean? I remember when I got the sixes, the Bugs Bunnies ones. I think it was the sixes or sevens. I got them like 2 years late, but I remember how hype I was. I got them from an outlet. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, during that time, it was like any other shoe I wore, if it wasn't a Jordan or a Nike, it was Jeepers. And it was like guys making fun of me or kids making fun of me or whatever. And, you know, I just always had that in my mind. So I was like, what if we can create a shoe like that's obviously super affordable, but, you know, backed by NBA players.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Where now this kid can be like, what? So what? My shoes cost $30 at Al Harrington wear them. Steven Jackson wear them. Fat Joe wear them. You know what I'm saying? Now, you know, now we empower them. Right. You know what I'm saying? Being able to wear a $30 shoe. So that's where it came from. The idea was literally all about giving back and giving kids a, you know, opportunity to, you know, be able to, you know, wear something that at that price point and still feel good about themselves. And, you know,
and it was a nice shoe.
We got it to Kmart, you know, I just had bad business partners that, obviously brought the whole thing down, but it was a learning lesson for me for sure.
Right. And now you done grew into, the boom. Yeah, there you go. Grew into a grower. Viola, which is named after your grandmother. And, I'm sure that same mindset you had with the shoes or whatever was the same kind of going into...
Yeah, well, it wasn't initially, right? It was something that, as I've been in the industry over the years, I've realized my purpose in the industry, right? You know what I'm saying? Obviously, when I first got in, all of my patients either had HIV or cancer, right?
Wow,
so it was from a medicinal standpoint. So I grew strains that was, heavy indica, for either creating appetite or, alleviating pain and different things like that. Got my first license started in 2011, got my first license beginning in 2014. Like you said, named the company Viola after my grandmother. The brand started to, grow. Because of my MBA background, I knew how important branding was.
Yeah.
And, at the time in Colorado, like if you sold flour, you sold it deli style, right? So it would be Viola flour, but it would just go inside of a turkey bag. They would take it, dump it in a jar, and just serve patients. The patient would never know where the flour actually came from.
Right.
But with concentrates, so concentrates is pretty much just the plant being extracted down into an oil form for like vape pens, concentrates like live resin, shatter, wax. And with my grandmother, she was, I was sending her weed and, she was smoking it and, always having people at her house for church functions and different things like that. Yeah. So after a while, she just started to feel like the house smelled like weed. So she stopped using. So I was like, damn, how can I figure out a way to continue to, give my grandmother this access? And that's how I learned about the extraction process. Right. And then not only that, when you extract this stuff down in Colorado, whenever you had to, take it to the dispensaries, you had to put it in end user packaging. So now that means we become a CPG company, and now we have packaged goods. We can promote the Viola brand.
Right.
So those are the two reasons why we ended up getting into concentrations. One, to be able to, help medicate my grandmother without everybody knowing, by giving her, oils or whatever. And then obviously then we can start, selling a branded product, in Colorado. So take that, started learning, had a lot of ups and downs, took some losses, didn't know what the hell I was doing, to be honest. Me and my partner, we figured it out. In 2017, we decided to start looking at expansion, and we decided to get a farm in Oregon, 40-acre farm there, where we cultivate, 7,000 to 8,000 pounds of product a year. We turn all that product into concentrates as well for vape pens and for live resin concentrates. And then we're from there to Michigan, where we have a 50,000 square foot fully vertically integrated building. So that building will have 800 lights. We already have a dispensary that's open in that location, and then we have a manufacturing facility. And then 2 years ago, I came to California, and started off as a white label brand. Realized that, people in this state don't really respect white label branded companies. So I ended up buying a grow about 6 months ago. And, now we're going through that process of dialing in this new grow that we just bought so that we can continue to, put out consistent, high quality product. And, it's been a journey, been a lot of fun. What's unique is we're pioneering the industry. So it's not really any one person that I can really go to for advice. You know what I'm saying? It's it's a lot of trial and error. And now I realize I am an expert. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people need to come to me now. You know what I'm saying? As far as what our purpose is, literally as I continue to grow this business, it was I would go into these different rooms, award shows, all this stuff, and I realized that nobody in the room looked like me. You know what I'm saying? And when you think about the war on drugs and how it was aimed at the black community specifically and Latinos, we're all the ones that's locked up behind it in this industry. And I said, when I go to these rooms, it's these guys are bragging how I came out of college with no debt because I had the best weed ever. You know what I'm saying? And then you think about how many black people's lives are ruined for having nickel bags. You know what I'm saying? And obviously, you locked them up, you brought them home, they felons, they can't, it's you locked up for forever. And then you think about these kids that was allegedly on all these colleges all around the country, they don't look like us, getting all this money, and then nobody happened. You never hear about a raid, you know, at UCLA or in these places. You know what I'm saying? So that's when I realized my purpose was literally like to be the voice for the people that don't have one. You know what I'm saying? And the people that have been like, you know, whose lives have been ruined behind the war on drugs. You know, disproportionate, you know, communities, you know, of color, and just, you know, we're just trying to create an environment or create a platform, you know, to pretty much empower, educate, uplift, you know, people of color in the cannabis community, and try to create opportunities so like not only we get jobs, but we also get a position where we can have ownership in the space as well. Because right now, you know, the industry is dominated 96% by, you know, white males. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, at the end of the day, they didn't do any suffering. You know, a lot of them didn't do any suffering to get us to this point. So, you know, we just want to keep that in mind. We're not saying that they should not be part of the industry, but we say we got to figure out how to raise that number up. You know what I'm saying? Because there's been a lot of people that really, you know, like lost everything, you know, because of this opportunity like that everybody's cashing out from.
Yeah. Right. So, like you said, you're a vet in the game now, basically. You didn't have anybody to lead the way for you, but now you're able to go back and lead the way for other people. That really just, like, walks right into the new deal that you guys did with Root and Rebound, which is kind of pretty much what you explained. But, like, how can you break that deal down a little bit further for us?
Yeah, so Root and Rebound is pretty much a bunch of, you know, attorneys and advocates that, you know, obviously they go out and fight for, like I said, these people that, you know, that was,
Mass
incarceration, you know, and obviously it's all about reentry. Right?
Yes, sir.
As we just talked about, it's like, okay, you went and served your time, and now you come home, you have no resources, and nobody you could talk to help you set up anything, a bank account, a place to live, nothing. So, you know, that's what Root and Rebound is about. It's about, you know, trying to help people transition as they come back into society, and, you know, allow them a chance and an opportunity, you know what I'm saying, to be able to live a normal life after they already, you know, went sat down for all those years. And, you know, they do that. I mean, they do a lot of stuff. I mean, even one time, like, what's, you know, one of the things that sold me, was I went to an event of theirs, and there was a lady who had came home, and, you know, obviously she didn't put on her application that she had been locked up or whatever, and somehow it came up, and they fired her. Or whatever, and Root and Rebound went in with attorneys and different things like that, and they got the lady a job back.
Nice.
You know what I'm saying? So like, that's the kind of work they're doing. God's work, as I said. You know what I'm saying? I think it's way bigger than anything that a lot of people can think about, especially when we know how hard it is for these people to get adjusted back into society. So I felt like that was something that we really wanted to be a part of. And, you know, that's what, you know, inspired us to do this partnership, and, you know, just want to keep getting better. You know what I'm saying? We want to help them fundraise. We want to help. I want to see at some point, you know, this initiative making, you know, 50, 100 raise significant money, because there's a lot of people that need this help. You know what I'm saying?
For sure. And this is a silly question I was having, because I don't smoke. So I'm all, you know, everybody smoke, but it's, you know, I'll be driving trucks and stuff that, you know, they don't let you and all that. But I have now, like, you're well off. We'll say that. You're a well off person. It's this one concept about smoking weed that I had my barber, Jeff, 6818 Barbershop, my guy. I always wondered, like, the whole, what's the reason for matching? Like, it'd be like, let's match one. Do you still match one now that you're well off?
What's that mean?
See, all right, I ain't, so okay, maybe that's it. Well, that'd be like, hey, yo, I'll call Chris and be like, hey, Chris, let's match one, Chris. And he'll be like, all right, come through. And all it is
What's that?
he got a blunt and I got a blunt, and we come and share my blunt, and then we share his blunt. That's what sense does that make?
I mean, it don't make sense unless y'all just wanted to chop it up. I just wanted to get in front of each other for the physical, but y'all gotta get that on FaceTime. Just smoke your own blunt, save your gas money,
same amount.
have your wife not tripping, all that.
And that's what he said, though. He said it's for the camaraderie.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, I guess.
Nah, that's what weed is. Weed is a connector, man. I tell you all the time, man, I'm friends with all kind of people that I would never have been friends with if it wasn't for cannabis. So, like, established relationships with, you know, after basketball, like even some of my competitors. And then obviously, like, the circle of friends that I now, you know, people I consider friends, is like literally it was a joint that brought us together.
Right.
So I always say cannabis is a connector, like, big time.
Yeah. Katie just said the same thing. He's like, you know, it brings people together, You know, he don't see why it's still not off.
But
the
I always
ban
say, like, even you look at, like, you know, we do like these Viola After Dark events or whatever, and you know, now we're starting to take them as like pop-ups around the country or whatever, and like we just did one in Chicago, and you know, in the space that we had, they allowed some cannabis use.
Right.
Mm-hmm. It was probably a room of, you know, it's fit 300 people, about 400 people in there, you know, and no issues, man. No fighting, no pushing,
drinking cause fights.
Yeah, it was just like, and even the owner of the place that we was at, you know, he even hit me and said he's going to go after a consumption lounge. He said he never had that many people in his venue and no issues, and it's just like, yo, that's cannabis, man. It's just, it relaxes people, it calms people down. To me, it makes people friendlier, and you know, I think that you know, as these consumption lounges and different things become more popular, the bar industry is going to be in trouble.
Real big trouble, yeah. Mm-hmm. You, I mean, so you had this conversation. You sat down and talked about this with David Stern. Mm-hmm. But what is your take? Do you think that in the next, I don't know, 2 to 3 years, it becomes a substance that's taken off the list?
Yeah, I think so. You watch baseball just do it. I think the NFL is about to do it. You know, I think obviously the guys, I'll be like, look, y'all want me to play another game, y'all gotta let me smoke. Like, y'all want another game, y'all need some more money and be able some smoking money.
Yeah.
But I think that the NFL is about to do it. What was cool about, what was unique about with the baseball thing was, like, it happened. It was on SportsCenter for one day. It was gone.
Yeah.
So to me, like, that just lets you know the world that we live in. Like, people are okay with people smoking cannabis now. It's not the same as we thought in the past. Like, a lot of people have realized, like, we've been lied to for a very long time. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is not the drug. I mean, I think it was Reagan that got on there and said it was more dangerous than crack cocaine.
Yeah,
like, dude, what are you talking about, bro? Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah,
like, what if, like, why would you even say something like that?
Right,
that was very irresponsible of him.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, like, you know, people understand, because I think everybody now, unless you like live under a rock, has some type of interaction with somebody that use cannabis.
Yeah, correct.
And that use it for medicinal benefits. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I smoke, I sleep better at night. Because I smoke, I have an appetite. Because I smoke, I feel better. Because I use these products, I feel better now. You know what I'm saying? So I think that now it's becoming normalized, and that's one of the things, like, with my company, like, that's what I'm big on, is, like, trying to show people all the things that you can do while using cannabis.
Right.
Hoop, snowboard, party, all these things that, you know, we all thought that was not true. You know, we all thought that, you know, if we smoke weed, we might end up being a junkie. And, like, that's not the case. You know what I'm saying? Everybody, you know, I always say, just in general, like, you know, addictive behavior people is just addictive behavior people, whether it's food, you know what I'm saying? We don't say we can't eat food.
Yeah, I always say, man, that everybody has their own addiction, whatever it may be.
What it is. So if you got somebody that can't, you know, that can't stop smoking, okay, that's one person, bro. The world has to suffer because of that. You know
right.
So, well, we making strides, man. I think every day you see, like, how the government's coming around, see how these sports teams are coming around, and, you know, back to answer your question, I think that once the NFL goes, I think the NHL is going to go, and I think the NBA is going to have to follow suit. You know,
because everybody else doing it.
I mean, it's just like, what are you doing? Like, how are you going to be the only league
right
that's still against it? When
they're too much of a player league.
But when all the players are already using.
Right.
Like, I said, you
think 80%.
Bro, they're using like crazy, bro. And you know, at one point I felt like I was snitching.
Right.
I'm not. They want me to tell. They like, yo, please tell these people that we using, we smoking. You know what I'm saying? Or we using cannabis products, and look at the player. Look how the league looks. You know what I'm saying? The play has not fell off. These guys are better than ever. You know what I'm saying? The last thing I'll say about it is just, like, you know, they just have to, you know, understand, like, we're very prideful athletes, right? We want to be the best that we can be. So I don't see players coming to the game high. Because I mean, we could drink before the game. We don't come to the game drunk. Right. You know what I'm saying? We could take these pills before the game. We don't take the pills before the games, right? Because we know we need to be all that we can be. But after the game, you know what I'm saying? We should be able to do that. You know, instead of drinking liquor and taking these, you know, opioids and different things like that. You know, if I could sit down and eat an edible, or if I want to smoke a joint, you know what I'm saying? Like, what is the problem? That keeps me out at home, safe, chilling, resting up, ready to get out there and go after it the next day. What's the problem?
For a minute, you were seeing everybody drunk and getting in trouble with Yeah,
It
law.
seemed like it calmed down a bit.
It calmed down a lot.
You see less DUIs and stuff like
I'm
that.
telling you, man, cannabis is it, man. It's like it's time. Like, let's wake up. It's
Mm-hmm.
okay, guys. Let the guys smoke, man. It's all right. It's okay.
Yeah, it's not like you gonna come to the arena rolled up, smoking, and asking.
And if you do, you get the same thing that if you come to the game drunk.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You get fined, you get reprimanded, they put you in the program. That's fine.
That's
You know what I'm saying? But I guarantee you, they do it. That'll be maybe 1 or 2 players a year, if that. And I don't even think that'll happen. I honestly don't. I think the guys have too much respect for the game.
Yeah, it's something they love.
Yeah, it's
Well,
a
I
profession.
don't know. Sooner or later, you're going to have a couple that's a little bit off. Like one of the guys you played with before, man. He going to do what he going to do, man.
Which person?
Yeah, who's that? What's this person?
I'm talking about my boy Ron, man.
Oh, Ron.
Ron. That's my dog, man. I love Ron, man.
Yo, Ron, bro. Ron Artest.
What was, yeah, man. Tell me something about Ron. What was that like playing with my guy right
Because
now?
I played with him, excuse me, not because I played with him, because I knew him since we were like 15 or whatever.
Right.
He got on the Pacers. You know, he gravitated towards me first. Obviously, it's just with the familiarity of the relationship. And every time he did something, everybody, go get Ron. So I ended up being like his handler or whatever. But nah, he was a great teammate, man. I always say stuff all the time, like, you know, he gave you a shirt off his back.
Yeah,
Best individuals ever. You know, he just had, you know, some issues from time to time. He just, you know, either he wasn't on his medication or whatever it was. You know, he would just have like, you know, episodes or whatever. But as far as with being a person, there's not so many better people than Ron Artest.
Yeah,
straight up.
Yeah, that's what I heard. And then speaking of more former teammates, I want to take you back to the Bay Area, Oakland, California, the Golden State Warriors. Now that team right there, man. You said two of you guys on that team that got a podcast, All the Smoke, Matt Barnes, Steven Jackson, and how much smoke was getting smoked back there?
A lot. I wasn't smoking though. I wasn't with them. I was the one outside the room shaking my head. They never gonna get focused.
Oh shit, that's funny, man.
Yeah. So I'm saying they all like ask any of them you interview, they gonna be like, Al, you the weed man?
You the weed man? Out of all of us?
Out of all of us, bro, you? All that shit you used to talk, bro, you the weed man? I'm like, I'm the weed man. But yeah, they tried to put me on. I just wasn't hearing it. I was like, nah. I heard too much bad things about it. I come from a family where I've had like a lot of addicts. So I was just like, nah, I ain't gonna mess with it. You know what I'm saying? But you know, him, Matt, I guess I don't know. I think BD's come out the closet that he likes a little weed every once in a while. Yeah, but you know, we had a couple guys, Monte Ellis, you know what I'm saying, that you know, would enjoy a blunt every once in a while. But the main 2 guys was really was Matt and Stack. Yeah, all the smoke guys. And they, you know, but they did it right. You know what I'm saying? Matt said, like, I didn't know Matt used to smoke on game days, but, you know, he used to say he used to smoke before his nap. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, but Matt did have a lot of injuries. His hands used to always be messed up. Matt used to have all kind of stuff ailing him all the time.
Wrapped up.
And he was saying, like, yo, he was the reason why that he was able to, you know, be able to get out there and play. And, you know, I never felt like Matt was ever alleviated where he wasn't, you know, on top of his game. You know what I'm saying? So that's why for me, when he used to say, like, y'all should smoke all the time, I'm like, yeah, right. Because then, you know, that was the level of play he played on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. We like, Matt actually mentioned that there was this big party after they beat the Mavs, right?
At Don Nelson's house.
Yeah, Donnie. Yeah, so, man, if you can pick one player.
Nice hairstyle now.
Yeah, Donnie big chilling now.
Big chilling.
One player off your team, off that team, I guess coach included, who was the biggest one that this was the smoker of the team?
On that team?
Yeah.
I mean, for me, I thought it was Stack.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought it was Steven Jackson. And I guess him and Matt probably was like even time. You know what I'm saying? But definitely Stack. Like, I always, weed man used to be at his house all the time. I thought he lived there. You know what I'm saying? Like, always bringing flavors and turkey bags everywhere. But yeah, Stack got it in for sure.
Oh man, that's funny. And then back to that David Stern interview. When you talk to him, Rest in peace, David Stern. When you talked to him, was it? Did you think? Did you think he? Because at the end of it, he responded. He was like, he think it should be legalized. Did you know, going into that interview, he would say you kind of convinced him?
Hell no. So it was funny for like 2 weeks, man. I was going back and forth with the producer trying to come up with a series of questions to get him to get to that point, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we also were psyching ourselves out because he's an attorney. You know what I'm saying? So he's an attorney first.
Yeah, he know how to talk.
He's not gonna say nothing he don't want to say. You know what I'm saying? Or like whatever his message is. So here we go, still trying to figure out how we're gonna trick David Stern into saying something that he don't want to say. So I had all these questions and just asked a little bit further to get him to, but my third question, I don't remember what the question was now, but it was just like whatever about with cannabis, and he just said like, I think that the NBA should change its stance. Mm-hmm. They should take it off the ban list, especially for players that need it medicinally, and then players that play in medicinal states. Because to me, I feel like if there is a player that wants to come out and say something, I think he has legs to stand on. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like if you play in a state where you pay taxes, and you're and you're a resident of that state, and your state says it's legal for you to go to a doctor, get a recommendation to use cannabis to deal with something instead of taking an opioid.
Why not?
What does it mean? Like how can your job tell you cannot medicate?
Right.
That's like if I'm sick and I'm dying, and my job saying, well, yeah, you dying or whatever, but you can't take that. Mm-hmm. That's a lawsuit.
Don't get healthy. Just come to work.
Yeah, just come. Yeah, like what I'm saying. So. I think that's more what he was saying. Like that's what I took from that. Uh-huh. You know what I'm saying? Especially when he said the whole state thing. But I think that obviously, like I said, we're going in that direction anyway. So I think in the next year or two, it will be taken off the list for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think the NBA they're gonna have to somehow get you in there and cut you a check somehow, man.
Or just let me provide the products to the players.
Yeah, there you go.
That's all. Let me be the provider. That's all I ask, man. They ain't got to give me nothing special other than that. I just want to do good business. I just want to give players, access to, great product. Especially with a lot of the products that I make, I keep them in mind. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So this would be specifically for, what I feel like a lot of the, my brothers deal with.
Right. And I'm gonna take you back to the court again. It was a moment. I don't remember if it was a playoff game, but it was against the Celtics. And it's late in the third quarter, and you were guarding Paul Pierce. And if I remember correctly, he was doing a damn good job on him that game. But it was y'all had about a 15-second chat. Guard. What was being said right there, man?
So Paul's one of the guys that I say the cannabis allowed us to have a relationship. I'm not saying he's a big cannabis user, but that's how we broke the ice.
Yeah.
But he's one of the guys that I did not get along with, man. Him and Antoine Walker shit, bro.
Everybody used to say I look like Antoine Walker, so.
Right,
yeah, I see the resemblance.
Oh, man. What broke the ice with me and Antoine was we played together in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Don't remember or whatever. So that's how I ended up liking Twan. Now he's my homie.
Yeah.
But during that play, Paul was just like talking shit, just like he gonna go buy me, and I'm like, you not gonna buy me. So he's like, all right, watch. Wait, he's talking, and I'm like, all right, you not going to buy me, bro.
Yeah.
Bring it. And then he did a side step back. We made a shot. We swept on that series though.
Yeah.
That's why I always tell people, like, everybody think that was for game. I'm like,
no, that was third quarter.
Did the third quarter, and we swept them. I was down in Miami 2 days later. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But nah, it's all good.
Who talking now? Who talking now?
That nigga was cold blooded, man. He's one of the hardest people I ever had to defend. Like, Paul, I don't know, man. Like, I used to love him. Paul in there. But he used to always appear to be kind of off balance a lot of times.
Yeah.
Wasn't. That shit frustrated me so much. I think you have him bottled up, and you did. But yeah, he's one of the all-time greats. You know what I'm saying? He's a famer and all that. And so big shout out to Paul Pierce.
Yeah, man. He had perfected this little off-balance drive.
Just awkward and it was slow.
It was
just it's like you see it coming.
He was so cold though.
It's just like
he was so cold.
Yeah. Get that. It's over there.
Yeah. So going forward now, here we are. You've gone. You played for the Pacers at this time.
Mm-hmm.
You went on ahead and moved to who else? You played with the Warriors. Talk to me now. You finally got to play for your team. You finally got to play for the Knicks,
Right.
and you had this crazy year. How was that, man?
It was cool. We lost all the games. So it was like I was killing but losing. And I mean, when I got there, bro, so they was kind of having a little bit of success. And Quentin Richardson, you know, my class in high school, my homie.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, when I got there in the locker room, and I'm like, yeah, you about to turn this up. This our time. Watch, man. She was looking at me like, she was like, nah, bro. You have no idea. He always said, we curse, bro. This shit cursed. He was just kept. He would always say, this shit cursed, bro.
Yeah.
And
Q.
And I'm like, man, whatever, Q. Man, you hate me, man. We about to kill.
Yeah.
And he was right. We was cursed,
dude. And still,
we did not get it together. Then Tony, man, I don't know. I don't know, man. You know, I always came from defensive first teams or whatever, except for Golden State, obviously. Right. That was like the first time where I really went to a situation where defense was definitely not a big thing, and then going there. So I was kind of prepared for it, but at least we was winning in Golden State.
Right.
But I always felt like in New York, like if we D'd up, I think we could have been a little bit better. I think we'd had more success, you know what I'm saying? But just defense. I remember one day me and Larry Hughes went in the office to talk to D'Antoni. I call him D'Antoni. Talk to D'Antoni about D, and we was just like, look, coach, we not even trying to get into your coaching time. Like we come in, we talk to the players. They'll come in 15 minutes early just for us to do like shell drills, just to really just get dialed in defensively, because we just felt like that was one of the things we was missing. And he had a heart attack. What? Defense? Do you think that's the problem? Defense? Wow. He goes crazy. But so we leave that meeting. Larry Hughes does not play another game that season. He don't play him no more. He had to play me. You know what I'm saying?
20.
Bro, it was crazy. He was hot. He looked at us like, how dare y'all come here talking about defense?
See, because that's what I was gonna ask. I was like, man, I've heard all the stories about how he doesn't care about defense, but I was like, how real is that? Like,
man, that man don't care about no defense. Well, at least he didn't back then. You know what I'm saying? And his thing was offense was defense. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Just outscore. It's outscore. Who cares about D? You know what I'm saying? Because we scored enough points, we just couldn't get no stops. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? If any team that averaged 100 points, especially back then, you know
that was a lot.
That's a lot. You're supposed to win games. Supposed to win. But if you're giving up 112, 115, yeah. I'm like, so we did the scoring part. You know what I'm saying? We need to stop somebody. But
here and there.
Yeah, but it was frustrating because I wanted to play in New York the rest of my career, obviously. Yeah, and I used to even tell him, like, I used to go and try to talk to him because I could tell, like, I wasn't really his cup of tea. You know, he preferred like a David Lee over me and all those different things. Jared Jeffries over me. Yeah. And I just would go to him and just be like, you know, coach, like, just tell me what you want me to do, man. Because I'm like, I want to be a Knick. I want to stay here. I want to see this turn around. Yeah. And he's like, you're fine. You're great. You're awesome. And then I hear in the background kicking my back, and I hate out here. It sucks. Get him out of here.
Talking about defense.
Talking about defense.
What's wrong with this guy?
But yeah, man. And I don't know. And it's funny. I get a lot of flack. People talking about I didn't play defense, but I always say, like, who used to kill me?
Right.
Yeah.
So I'll leave it at that. So just show me, like, who used to wear me out. Like, just show me that. You know what I'm saying? Pause.
And then you played. Was it the first year of the Big Three? Was it the first year or
like the first 2 years?
First 2 years, and then y'all went undefeated in the first year.
Yeah, in the second year, the bottom fell out.
Yeah.
Rashad McKenzie came back a WWE player. I said, well, who man? This man came back wearing masks and all that, and not getting no buckets. I'm like, come on. That's my man too. That came back with the mask. So the first game he came with the mask. That's like, I'm like, we about to go undefeated. I'm like, that's the kind of focus he. But he looked a little chubby. But I was like, all right, cool. Let's go. Work yourself in the way. And my son came out there and was just like, not the same.
This ain't it.
Because he probably was, you know, like, I got a lot of the credit, but he probably was I always said we was Shaq and Kobe. You know what I'm saying? In the other Big Three, because he was. He was out there working, and I was just killing in the paint. You know what I'm saying? I was playing like Shaq. Yeah. And then just the next year came back, man, and Shaq was there, but
Kobe was hurt.
Kobe was there. Kobe was down, man. Kobe was wearing masks, man.
I just remember. I remember the mask.
Dog, the first mask he wore was so cold. First of all, he set the whole season up perfect. Cause listen, I'm with the shit. Like I'm with all that. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't talk trash like that, but if you gonna talk trash and we together, I'm with you. Like, let's ride. You know what I'm saying? Like, so he set the table nice for the repeat, right? He come to the workout thing right here, College Santa Monica, and he had on a crown, hard crown, iced out crown, like crown.
Yeah,
he walk around like you know what I'm saying? I'm like, all right,
this is
everybody in there mad. Everybody, oh, this bum ass nigga, shit ain't garbage. This ain't even like that. And I'm like, all right, we gonna see this shit. And we just went undefeated on none of y'all beat us. So I don't know what y'all
talking. He got you talking.
Right, that's all I'm saying. I'm keeping it humble and respectful. But I'm like, yo, we ain't losing no game like that shit. So you can't walk around with a crown. Yeah. Lucky I ain't know nothing about a crown. I'd have walked in here with one too. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Then he came with the mask. I'm like, I like where he going with this.
We going in.
I like where he going with this.
We gotta size you up for your mask.
Yeah, bro. I was like, ooh, that was a cold mask he came out with too. Man, that was it. That was it. They ended at the mask. You know what I'm saying?
It was a cold mask.
Damn, Rashad. We ended up losing all these games, man. We should have won if he just was himself on the year before. I'm telling you, I promise y'all we could have went undefeated again that year. I don't care what nobody say. Because all the teams we lost, like the team that won it was Big Baby and them. Yeah. We was beating them by like 14, 15. Mm-hmm. And then, somebody on our team just started shooting jumpers the whole game. The rest of the game, and they catch up and beat us. I think we was in like Toronto or Miami or something. I was hot after that game. But yeah, like the team that beat us, we was dubbing them. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, they won the whole thing. So I was just like, we could have easily went back to back, but it's all good.
What made you say that was it with that year?
Well, really, it was. I was done. I was done just because I ain't really have, because with my business or whatever, it's hard to have time to get in the gym, right? And I know how important it is, like, to take care of yourself. Because like my biggest fear is like tearing my Achilles. It's like always like one of my fears of just the one injury I never wanted. And I just see a lot of older players. That's the first thing they go when they still be playing after the fact. You know what I'm saying? So that year I made it through that season. I was like, all right, I'm done. So, but Steven Jackson that convinced me to play again. So like Kmart stopped playing. So then I didn't have to be loyal to him anymore. So I was like, look, Kmart, I don't want to play over here no more. I'm gonna go play with Stat Kmart. I was like, all right. He wasn't feeling it, but he's like, all right. Yeah. So got my man's blessing. Me and Stack said we was gonna ride. And last year Ice Cube did a CBD deal with this company called CBDMD. And it was supposed to be with my company.
Oh, yeah.
Whatever. So when they did that, and they didn't even tell me about it, like I saw it on an Instagram post, I just felt a little disrespected, especially because like when they first started that league, what they told us was like, this is a league about, the players, and it's about partnership, it's about all these things, which I understand. They was just capping and gassing us. But at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying, I felt like I did a lot of work with them, educating them and different things like that. You have no idea how many calls I had with, the guy that really runs the whole thing. His name is Jeff. And so many calls with this dude. He long-winded too. Like they call to tell him like two little things, and we'd be on the phone an hour. You know what I'm saying? And we went through the point of decks being built, all these different things for me to, be able to get that sponsorship. And they just did it with another company and didn't even tell me. So that's why I stopped playing. That's why I didn't play the third year. And happy I did, you know what I'm saying? Because like I said, practice better for me anyway. Right. And then, officially I'm done. The last time I actually played basketball was my last game in the Big Three. I haven't been on the court since.
I'm with you on that. I got a similar story. I ain't afraid to talk about the Big Three. I like them though. But I'm like, man, I did a bunch of podcasts with all, a bunch of players, Greg Oden, DeMar Johnson, Dante Green, Frank Nitty. I'm like, I'm in with all the guys. And then when they come to LA for the championship, I can't even get credentials. Damn. I'm like, man, I know all of them. We good. You know what I'm Yeah, so I'm with you and Viola, man.
It was smoke blown. And yeah, come on down. You guys will be in here. Then we got here.
Yeah, we got T. Scott on and everything. Yeah.
There's
Man.
a lot of capping going on.
Y'all coming to my city, Sacramento, this year. So I mean, if I don't get into my own city,
Right,
now I'm gonna call
Just
you.
Just go to the hotel. It's so unorganized. You can jump on a bus or something. They don't even know. I promise you.
Just walk in. So,
right in like you want to play. They don't know. Goddamn.
If they catch me and kick me out, I'm a live. You just show you. Yeah.
They ain't gonna count. I'm telling you, they ain't gonna kick you out. They don't know.
I got a question from one of the Facebook Live viewers named Gerald Lavarius. He says the NBA is talking about finding refs, or there's talk of the NBA finding refs. Do you think that will help justify the players advocating for a fair game?
So the only thing I would say about that is like, when you think about like how athletic we are, how quick we are, hand quickness, all that type of stuff, I would have to say like if you put on a referee's shoes and try to wear those things, I think it's be very difficult.
Big shoes to fill, man.
Mm-hmm. So I always say I always kind of look at it from that standpoint. Sometimes it's like it's a hard job, but like goaltends. Blatant,
like the one with
and you let that go, like all
that's
that,
wild.
like that, you should find them for that. You know what I'm saying? But like I think other like within the game, missing an out of bounds, like that's fine. You know what I'm saying? They're human. They're gonna make mistakes. It's not possible to get. And you gotta think about it too. Like the game is so the game used to be so physical, not as much. But like we always gonna touch each other. So a touch is supposed to be a foul. So if they called everything, games would take 5 hours. You know what I'm saying? So you kind of got to watch them and just let them kind of just ref a flow. But, some of these blatant mistakes and stuff like that, I think they should be fined for.
What about the travels?
Once again, I think it's the game going by so fast. And you got to think about when we notice the travel is in slow motion, right?
Right.
Like, what?
The replay.
Ding, 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 ding. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. I mean, they've been traveling for a long time. That's not something that's you know what I'm saying? They ain't like something that just started. Traveling is just part of the game.
They just add an extra step now.
They may as well make it 3 steps anyway.
Thanks.
And Viola, man, anything you guys got coming up that you want to, tell the listeners and viewers and stuff?
No, just keep checking out for us, man. If you're a cannabis consumer, give us a shot. You know what I'm saying? I think we have a really good, high quality product. That I feel like when you try it the first time, you're gonna have a great experience. That you would probably want to go try it again, and just know our company is literally all about giving back to the people that's most affected by the war on drugs. That's a passion of ours, and just know as you support our company, that it's going to a good cause. That other people will benefit from your dollars, not just the people at Viola. You know what I'm saying? I think that's something that means a lot to me, and as we as consumers, we have a decision. When we get to a dispensary, who we want to buy, what we want to purchase, and I hope that we can start winning people over from that perspective, knowing that we're heavy, community driven, and trying to impact and change people's lives for the better.
Mm-hmm. And then now I'm getting comments on the questions. I was like, I ain't getting nothing on here, but. My man, forgive me how I'm gonna say your name, Jumbo Tutu.
Jumbo.
That works. He said, how do you view the players' power in the NBA in today's game?
The power, meaning what?
It's like LeBron.
Like physical power, or what do you think you mean?
I think
just like influence.
Yeah, I think he mean influence.
Yeah, I mean, so that's always been around. I'll say that. When I was in Indiana, obviously Reggie. Then when Jermaine O'Neal emerged, a lot of decisions was made, about what Jermaine wanted to do. You know what I'm saying? If we stay in the city, or if we keep pushing, and different things like that. So I think that every team, unless maybe like the Spurs or something like that, you got a few organizations that probably always maintain the power, never let a player kind of get that juice. But then you have, I would say, most organizations that you got a LeBron James, D Wade, those level of talent, or whatever, Carmelo Anthony's, different things like that. They definitely got the juice.
Nice. My last question, man. You talked about Mike D'Antoni This is my man right here, Nicky, the producer. That's his team, the Houston Rockets, man. So with the Rockets and LeBron and all them, who do you have winning the ship this year?
So,
Oh yeah.
Make them think.
all right. So, I think that Milwaukee should get out of the East.
Right.
But
Should.
the only thing is, with Giannis, he's somewhat one-dimensional a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Even though I think he's super tough. Like, I love his game. I love his heart. I love how he play hard every play. All that. I feel like that does take you places. Mm-hmm. But I just feel like when it's 7-game series and you start loading up on him and he becomes a different player. So because of that, then I would say if it's not them, I say my dark horse is either Miami or even Toronto, man. I'm telling you, Toronto, they just play well together.
Yeah.
Right.
They all on the same page. They play hard as hell. And they got the juice, like, because they got that, even though they don't have Kawhi, they still got that. They got something. They got like confidence. They got a confidence in
like champs, like you and Andre came here.
Yeah.
You guys come back from winning the championship, Rashad.
Yeah. Like they kind of got.
They just ain't bringing the mass.
Right. I mean, I like Boston. You know what I'm saying? I think they're obviously another team. So it's those four, but I just say Milwaukee for sure. Like, that's my pick. That's the answer. That's my pick. But dark horse is like Toronto, Miami. I say could potentially, get in there.
Right.
Second, on the West, I think it's between the two LA teams. It's either Lake Show or Clippers. Mm-hmm. Like Houston, just they haven't done anything to really convince me that they're the ones. Obviously they got all the talent. Right. They got the guard play, they got the shooting, but I think that size will hurt them if they end up in the finals.
We're going to half-court basketball.
Yeah, if you put Anthony Davis versus PJ, I love PJ, but he's going to win that over time. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Maybe a game PJ get the best of him, but over a 7-game series,
that's where problems go happen.
You know what I'm saying? Who else in the West? That's the only other. I mean, only reason why I'm not. So the reason why I can't pick the Clippers is just because they haven't played together long enough to create that. Like, it's not like Kawhi's the next level. He's got so good, but he not Kobe yet or like a Jordan yet. Where it's just like he can just turn it on and just that's it.
Right.
He's just a rap when he decides to just go. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't seen that. I don't believe that yet, but I feel like they do have the best team to go to the finals and win it. They are deep. They got the Morris brother now. They got Reggie Jackson. Yeah. They got Lou Will. So they got everything. My pick is them. But the only thing I don't like about it is, like, a team. I always feel like teams that win it like that, they usually have at some point during the season a 15-game win streak, a 12-game win streak. Just like places, just time where it's just kind of be rolling, so you know what it's gonna be like. They haven't given us that, so that's the only reason why I would be like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But it's tough betting against Bron because he the GOAT. You know what I'm saying? And it's hard betting against him because he could average 45 and even in year 16, which is crazy. Right?
Yeah.
Like, who is like this man is playing at a level where you think he might play another 10 years, bro.
Yeah,
right. We talked about that.
Like, it's crazy, like the level that he's playing. I'm like, he's for sure going to play with or against his son.
Yeah, he's gonna leave when he feel like it.
You know what I'm saying?
It's all up to him.
So it's just hard betting against him. But I would say, I'm gonna say Clippers, Bucks. That was a long-winded answer. But
nah.
That's what I'm at with it.
All right, and my last question, we're going to get you out of here. I don't see no more on here, but my last question is, you already mentioned the word GOAT.
Oh, there you go.
I mean, we always do, right? But we going to go back to Mount Rushmore. I ain't going to ask you to put who the GOAT. I mean, you already said I heard who the GOAT was, but Mount Rushmore.
He's the best basketball player ever. I still might pick Mike in a certain situation. I'll pick Kobe in another situation, but he's the greatest basketball player ever.
Got it. Agreed.
I agree. Do you agree?
I said I agree. Go with your mouth.
Okay. Yeah. See, that's what we got to do. We got to bring more NBA players to get this man to act right.
No. I've always agreed. I said LeBron was the best all-around player ever.
He do it all.
I'm going to have to fact check this. I think you're lying, but... Man, we appreciate you coming out here, man, and doing this with us. It's been a pleasure, man. We definitely go come check out Viola headquarters out here in LA.
Fellas, pull up.
And if you want to shout out your Instagram handle or anything.
Yeah, my Instagram is at Al Harrington 3. Al Harrington 3. And then the company is at Viola. Yeah, so check us out. And then I also have a CBD company, and it's called Replay. So at Replay Wellness.
Replay Wellness.
Replay, that was launched at the BET weekend.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Yep, it sure was. And once again, you guys, the pod will be dropped on Tuesday. Thank y'all for tuning in. And I'm your host, Mark Haynes, MH the Champ, with my co-host,
Chris Perry, Chris.Perry SR.
It's Submitted Till 6, and we out.
Peace.
Yeah, no problem.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.